My name is Kat. Welcome to my channel. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning, so I decided to go ahead and record a video rather than go live because I'm probably the only crazy person awake at this hour. Anyway, I'm trying to redeem myself for the whole dead internet theory. Yesterday I went live, and I was looking at videos, and it just wasn't the conspiracy theory that I was hoping for. The one that I was trying to refer to, which is, from my understanding, the dead internet theory basically says that the interactions online are the majority are AI and not human. So basically, a bunch of AI responding to AI and humans responding to AI or automatically generated content with no human anything backing it. So for the most part, you've got all of these people, but it's not people. It's computer profiles. It's automatic business responses, whatever. Anyway, saying that like the majority of the internet is non-human. The videos I watched yesterday just weren't touching on it. They were talking about how there's more AI generated content, but they weren't talking about how it's driven without any human input, I guess, is where I'm going with that. So anyway, I've decided I'm going to pull this video. It's called The Dead Internet Theory. Go figure, right? And I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to see if maybe it gives a little bit better insight. Maybe I'll get not the content, but I'll get the explanation that I was looking for. We'll see. We'll see how that works. Maybe not. All right. I don't know. Should I be in the corner? I think I'll go over here. I want to be over here today. Let's be over here. All right. I'm kind of there. Is that better? I'm not live. You can't tell me. So you're stuck. Okay. Dead Internet Theory. This is a video by Aperture. And now you can't see it. Hold on. There. I will link it all down below. It'll be in the description so that you can go watch the video yourself. And if you don't want to hear what I have to say about it, then please go click the link and go watch the video itself. You can skip all of my ranting and commentary. If you don't like what I have to say, please put that in the comments. Engagement is engagement, man. I'm good. I'm here for it. All of it. Let's go.
The internet is dead and we are the killers. Truth doesn't really exist online anymore. Bots have swamped social media with misinformation, and the web pages we surf today are almost entirely generated by AI. Even YouTube is flooded with channels completely run by AI with zero creative input from humans. Every single day, less and less.
See, that's what I'm talking about, is like, I'm talking about, like, if you guys are from the era that I'm from, you know what macros are. So you set a series of commands and you hit a button and it automatically runs that process. We know them now as shortcuts, templates, things that you can do. You can say, hey, I want to auto reframe this, and it'll run a series of commands and it'll do what you want. This is saying it's doing it without anyone telling it to. So are the channels run by the system? Like, no one is saying, okay, release a video every 3 days. The AI is saying, I want to release a video. Like, do you know what I mean? That's the level that I'm looking to find out. So let's find out.
Less of the content we consume is with zero creative input from humans. Every single day, less and less of the content we consume is created by humans, and what's even worse is that all of it is being recycled back into a system that we have very little control over, leaving the internet a shell of what it once was. Scrolling through social media has become an isolated, empty, and fruitless activity. But how exactly did we get here, and is it too late to revive it?
I'm liking this so far, and isolation is such a problem. It is such a problem. You feel like you're not isolated because you're seeing people and their posts and the comments, and people are interacting with your comments. So they're hitting the like button. But is that really interaction? You're sitting there alone. So like, stop for a second, look away from your phone, look away from your PC. Who's with you? That's what I guess that's what they're talking about. It's scary, and it's really bad for kids. It's really bad for kids. Killing the competition.
The internet started as a weapon of war, not an explicit military war, but a technological battle during the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union. This pushed American researchers to develop a way of sharing data and programs through a global dispersed network beginning in the early 1960s. The earliest version of the internet created two universities, the University of California and Stanford. Simple messages could be communicated between them, but it was nothing like what we have today. Throughout the 1970s, though, that network continued spreading via the use of phone lines. In 1983, there were only 500 computer hosts connected. Within
I didn't know that that's how it started. Like, it makes sense though that it was started as a communication network. That makes sense, right? I didn't know that it would turn into the internet. Like, do you think if the people who made it knew what it would become, that would they make a different decision?
use of phone lines. In 1983, there were only 500 computer hosts connected. Within 5 years, that reached 100,000, rolling out to increasingly more countries. Then, everything changed with the creation of the World Wide Web. The World Wide Web was a simple concept. It was a network of hypertext documents accessed with a program called a browser. By the mid-1990s, it had moved from scientists and governments into the realm of public consumption. The birth of the internet was celebrated as a revolutionary force. With the free transfer and democracy of information, power could be put back in the hands of the people. The borders of regulation and nationalism would be transcended, creating a new age of society. The borders of regulation and nationalism would be transcended, creating a new age of society. You no longer needed a media or a political platform to air your views. Everyone could become their own publisher, something that wasn't possible before. There was only one problem: greed. As years turned to decades, the internet followed a familiar path, the same one almost every other important technological innovation did before and will keep doing. Dozens of internet service providers had emerged, but they slowly began merging into just a few big companies, leaving consumers with no real choice. Just like with radio a century earlier, thousands of different companies were slowly bought or priced out of the market. This was true for both the infrastructure and the web real estate. By 2001, when the dot-com bubble popped, the top 10 websites made up 31% of page views in the United States. And by 2006, that number climbed to 40% and then 75% in 2010. At the same time, iPhone
RIP. What is it, like Ask Jeeves? What are some of the other ones, the search engines that you used? I remember when there was Netscape, and then it was, you could use the Yahoo search. Yahoo was huge. Now it's so funny. I didn't even realize, I saw it the other day and it just dawned on me because I never think about it. I didn't realize that like AOL as a source of information or provider was still around. And Yahoo, I mean, no, it's around, but it's nowhere near what Yahoo was the place to be. And AOL and then Yahoo, as far as I knew.
Phones and smart devices changed our relationship. Browsing the World Wide Web became less common as people shifted to semi-closed applications, and in 2010, these applications accounted for less than a quarter of internet traffic. Today, it's 90%.
Of course.
Keeping users inside the confines of applications made advertising more effective. Having created an entirely new ecosystem, Apple was on its way to becoming one of the biggest companies in the world thanks to this closed system.
I mean, think about it if you want. Think about it. If you have a store, right? And it's a grocery store, and then you don't want people to leave to go get something because you don't have it, which is developed department stores. I'm not saying in that way. They combined the department store and the grocery store. So now you don't have to leave one store to go to another to get the product you want. It's all right there. So then they can kind of self-advertise and keep it all where all the money is coming to them. And I say this all the time. If you watch me ever, I say this all the time. The intention of these apps is to keep you on their platform as long as possible. They want you watching. They don't want you to leave and go to another platform. They don't want you to click links and go somewhere else. They want to keep you consistently locked in on their application because that's how they sell to advertisers. The more you're in their application, the more screen time you have specifically watching something on their app, the more power they have to leverage themselves to make more money with advertisers, because the chances of you seeing an ad because you're locked in on that app and more people are locked in on that app is higher. So then they're worth more. So they get to make more. It's always about money. It's not about they keep you happy to make money. It has nothing to do with you being sincerely happy or mentally healthy. They don't care. They just don't care, which is, I feel like, a reason that they prefer to put this on like these AI models because it takes the guilt, the human guilt and conscience out of it. And so then they can manipulate and direct things the way that they need to be without having any kind of conscience stopping them from the bottom dollar. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it.
After the dot-com bubble popped, only 5 tech companies were able to survive and thrive: Google, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Microsoft. The big 5 are now virtually impossible to avoid on the internet, whether through advertising, e-commerce, or the cloud computing hosts that websites depend on. This tech dominance has permanently changed our society. And as these industry giants compete in a technological arms race for the next big weapon to sell consumers, that being artificial intelligence, the last vestiges of a utopian internet could be lost: connection and truth. Nearly 5.5 billion people have access to the internet, and the average user spends 6 hours a day online. It's by far the world's biggest market, and unfortunately, the most valuable commodity in that market is your attention. Views, likes, and reviews are worth their weight in gold, and this has led to a huge shady marketplace for all kinds of engagement. Money has turned the internet into a tiered system, ripe for exploitation. Creating a successful channel or social media profile can be a lucrative long-term investment. With a few clicks and dollars, anyone can buy thousands of Spotify streams, Instagram likes, or YouTube views. How can companies offer these services? Well, employing thousands of people to click on posts manually would be far too expensive. Instead, they use bots, automated, unattended software.
Okay, I see where this is going. I see where this is going. Of course, here's the wild thing, and I think people underestimate the amount of paid views and paid interactions that people go for. As a small creator, I post this stuff because I like it. And because maybe I hope that it'll give someone an opportunity to see things a little differently or think about something they weren't thinking about or check their perspective or something. I don't do it for money. I don't get paid. I'm not monetized. So luckily, I don't have to worry about my income going down because a video didn't do well. It's kind of nice. It's free. It's freeing. I mean, I have a full-time job, don't get me wrong, but people pay for these bots. It's an automated macro. Like I'm saying macro just in terminology that, you click a button, it runs the commands. You know what I mean? Of course, you're going to if I could get a bot to do half my job, I would, but I wouldn't say anything because I still want to get paid, right? Just saying.
Set on a target, they artificially engage with the post, boost it in the rankings, and attract more attention. Websites do their best to scrub bots out, but it's almost impossible to remove them all. Over the last 6 years, Meta deactivated over 27 billion fake accounts. Some believe it's already
You wonder why you can never find your screen name? That's why.
too late to take action against bots. They think we may have reached a dark tipping point. First posted in 2019, the Dead Internet Theory proposes that we're living in a dystopian ghost town populated by simulated actors.
That's what I'm talking
According to
about.
the theory, something changed around 2016. The internet had become so saturated by automated content that having a genuine human-to-human interaction was rare, if not impossible. Surfing the web was like driving alone and only passing automated vehicles on the road. The theory's original poster admitted that it sounded conspiratorial, but they were certain of a feeling that something was distinctly lacking. There was an emptiness online that hadn't been there in the early 2000s. Images, conversations, and memes all began to resemble one another, while forms that were once exciting now felt sanitized.
Yes.
This was all supposedly all carefully curated to keep control of culture and political power, and most of all, to make sure that the general population stays in line. The Dead Internet Theory remained on the fringes until 2022.
Okay. Hold on. Sorry. So he's talking about what they consider the conspiracy theory. So that not only is the part that I think everyone can kind of get on board with, which is that more interactions than you think are actually not human. They're bots. Like you're speaking to, what's the word? You're speaking to an automated, or a non-real person that is just generating comments and stuff. And like, you're not really talking to a person more than you expect. But then the conspiracy part comes in where it's all it's a plan. That's the difference. See, if it's just what happens because we abused the ability to use these things and it just inevitably happens, which I can see that. But the fact that it's done on purpose in order to the like if there's a 5-to-1 ratio of human to bots, right? If you get the four, if you get out of five, 1 out of 5 is a person. So if you get the 4 bots to say the same thing, if you think about mob mentality and you think about how social structures work, it's a proven fact that 90% of that one person out of each group of 5, 99, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go with what the other 4 want. It's just how it works, which would turn into social engineering, which would turn into, pushing narratives and changing politics, changing policy laws, basically controlling people. So I could see where they put those two together. Now, the part that makes it a conspiracy is if you believe that or not. I think low key on some level, we all believe that that's some people have used that to their advantage. Let's just put it that way. Whether you believe in the entirety of it or everything that they're saying, it is what it is. Just think about it. Figure out what you think.
The dead internet theory remained on the fringes until 2022, when a grand unveiling brought the issue of bots to global attention. On November 30th, 2022, the world was introduced to ChatGPT.
Ooh.
Built on a large language model that processes gigantic data sets and forms relationships between.
Is that a person right there, or is that an AI generated video? Tell me what you think. You'd be surprised. I don't know for sure. I usually look at the eyes and I look at like the house, like the smooth structures. Like my face, like I have the same, like she has the same dent sort of in her cheekbone, but hers is smooth. It might just be because she's smooth and pretty. It could be that. I don't know. I could airbrush me too. I'm really white today. Like I'm really glowing white. I could change my lighting, but I don't feel like it.
Ideas. It is the large language model that processes gigantic data sets and forms relationships between ideas. It is the most advanced form of artificial intelligence ever to exist. For decades, computers have been much more powerful than humans at specific tasks, like chess or mathematical calculation. The question that divided computer scientists and philosophers was whether or not computers could ever transition into a kind of general intelligence. Mathematician Alan Turing asked this question in 1950. He developed the Turing test as a way to determine whether a machine was thinking. The test was simple. For a computer to pass, it has to fool a human into thinking they're talking with another human. Simple. For a computer to pass, it has to fool a human into thinking they're talking with another human. Last year, ChatGPT 4 became one of the first to pass the Turing test.
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. I use ChatGPT sometimes to get more targeted. Like if I'm saying, how do I take a screenshot inside OBS while recording? And it can say, look, this is how you keybind. This is your key. In fact, I will probably take a screenshot of this right now just for funsies. If you get this far in the video, you'll know that this will be part of the thumbnail. And I just took it. So, I use it as a tool and I use it to reword stuff. Not much, but like to make it smaller because I'm really wordy. If I want to like make it smaller, more concise. Or if there's like, if I need, where can I find resources for this, that, or the other? I don't use it very often. But I can see why people are fooled. Now, ChatGPT, I don't agree as much because ChatGPT doesn't try to come off human. Character AI, if you guys haven't seen the video of Cliff and I talking to Character AI and Moxie, shout out Moxie. We should do another one of those where we talk to AI. And you tell me.
Other human. Last year, ChatGPT 4 became one of the first to pass the Turing test. We had officially brought a machine to life, and suddenly the dead internet theory became not just a conspiracy, but a likely future.
If they're finally doing that publicly, how long has that been possible? Not publicly. I mean, think about it. And if you think about it, there's been movies about it where there's like that one in the lab where it's like they've downloaded their wife's brain into the AI and it thinks it's because the AI learned from that person's behaviors, memories, and everything they ever said. And like, it's possible whether it's ethical or whether it's something that is allowed. And then I can get in this whole rant. I'm not going to. I can get in the whole rant if you see my content before. You know, I do this all the time where basically we've allowed it because they keep trying and people fight it and they're like, oh, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that. And then the moment that they are like, okay, well, we'll make it sparkly and pretty and we will put it and make it so that you get something fun and you look cute when it's done. And then we say, oh, well, yeah, then we'll do it. And then we accept the AI as normal. It becomes normal. We're used to seeing it. So then when they start introducing it again and again, we're used to it and we're not like, what the? No, I don't want AI all over my stuff. I don't want AI in my phone. Hello. And now they've done it. And what are you going to do? Nothing. You can't get rid of it. It's too late. I'm not saying that it's a nefarious reasons. I'm saying if it would turn into Terminator, we're screwed.
And if we can't distinguish between humans and AI anymore, who can we trust? Consider this. 49.6% of all internet traffic in 2023 came from bots. Even more daunting is that things are likely to get much worse. Now that search engines have
not me coming back after realizing my mic was off. 50% is a lot. Just think of half of all of your interactions that you see are not real. It's a lot.
49.6% of all internet traffic in 2023 came from bots. Even more daunting is that things are likely to get much worse. Now that search engines have started to integrate AI technology like ChatGPT into their services, the flaws have never been more clear. Tech giants are rushing products to the market to compete with each other for supremacy. In the process, there have been some disastrous results. Google's entry into the world of AI, Gemini, told users that rocks are a source of vitamins. Astronauts who landed on the moon encountered cats.
Okay, for the record, if Google's AI tells you that rocks are a source of nutrients and proteins and are healthy to eat, and you eat them, that is, ironically, right? Natural selection at its best. Yeah, moving on.
Backpacks are just as effective as parachutes when jumping out of a plane. These tech-fueled hallucinations
Again.
come from them trying to piece together gigantic amounts of information that have been compressed. And they do this with an algorithm that identifies the important components and interpolates the missing pieces.
So guesses. It just fills it in. So here's the thing, guys. I don't know if you know this, but if you are using an AI like ChatGPT and you realize that something they said is incorrect, correct them. Because what they'll do is they'll rescan and then they'll go, oh, you're right. Because what they'll do is they'll now adjust their search terms to include your updated information, confirm it, and then update their database. So maybe they don't screw it up for the next person. I don't know. But still, you can correct them. I do it all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's not true. And they're like, oh, you're right. That isn't true. And I'm like, I don't know. My microphone's bothering me, y'all. It's bothering me. I need I don't know. I need one installed.
Anything creative is usually generated using a composition or altered version of work that has already been created by humans. Artwork and music online are being used as training data for artificial intelligence, leading to many arguing that workers are being exploited. Hundreds of artists backed by the nonprofit Artists' Rights Alliance have signed an open letter seeking to prevent AI from sabotaging and undermining artists. On top of that,
I completely agree. They use previously made art to piece together AI images. In fact, when you see really odd things overlapping, and if you look, sometimes you'll see signatures, artist signatures in the AI generated content because it took a piece, it took a group of 15 pixels from that picture and it just happened to have part of your signature in it, or the artist or whatever. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. If you are surprised by the outcome, let me say this again, let me say it louder. If you are surprised by the outcome of something you put into AI, it is not your art. And I know that some people don't agree with me, and that's okay. You don't have to agree with me. That is my opinion. My opinion is if you are surprised by what comes out the other side, it is not your art. Artists, they put the pen to the page. They might not know what it's going to look like when it's done, but they're doing every pencil stroke. They're part of every piece of that process. If you are surprised by the outcome and you're like, oh, that's good, Oh, it's not your art. I don't care if you can describe really well. Describing really well does not make you a musician. And getting mad about it because I know lots and lots of artists and lots of musicians, and it's not cool, in my opinion. And if you're into that, okay, do you. But don't call it art. Don't say this is my art like you made it. No, you described it. And then you were surprised, happily surprised by the outcome. Then you adjusted it and submitted it and were surprised again. Recreate it again. You can't. Just saying. I know that moving on. Sorry. I do that.
These models don't know how to judge whether or not a source is trustworthy. Instead, they gravitate towards popular responses, which can range from reliable academic journals to a meme made by a 17-year-old to gain Reddit karma. One individual created a fake website designed purely to trap crawlers. These are automated programs commonly used by search engines to systematically download the contents of web pages. They realized that the GPT bot was collecting around 3 million pages from their sites every day. This was a small window into the quality of data that is being scraped by chatbot AIs and forming their responses, which isn't exactly a positive sign. What's even worse is that because so much of the internet is already generative AI, the next generation of AI will use content created by the previous generations as training datasets, and with each passing generation, the work these AI tools produce will continue to be less and less human. Search results will be filled with AI-generated content, and finding trustworthy sources will become even more difficult.
So that's what bothers me, is once you have, that's the issue. AI training off of humans is one thing. AI using AI to tell AI how to be human, you know?
The word robot was first used in a 1920 Czech science fiction play called Rossum's Universal Robot. It comes from the Czech word robota, which loosely translates to slave. This was a good description of mechanical robots used in production. They were simply tools like a hammer or a calculator. As robots moved into the digital world, though, the relationship between master and slave has been blurred. Online media is already largely controlled by artificial intelligence. Powerful automated programs determine whether content succeeds or fails. Advertisers pay millions for professionals to crack the code of mysterious algorithms. Because they're constantly changing, these programs essentially create a secretive inner functionality process not even known to those who design it.
Sometimes I think that there's just some evil little gnomes at these companies. They're going to come out. They're going to shadow bait. I'm kidding. They're not going to do that. There's these little evil gnomes that are like, you know what? Content creators are starting to do okay. Let's fuck shit up. They turn around and they like click a button or they change a code, and all of a sudden, like, it's no longer about watch time. It's no longer about likes. It's about if they made it full screen or not. Like if they made it full screen, that determines whether they're really invested. And only videos that are made full screen now get pushed in the algorithm, and they're just back like I just picture the evil algorithm gnomes. Like, wait till AI gets a sense of humor and starts doing it just to fuck with us.
Left at the mercy of pattern recognizing supercomputers, our behavior has been shaped around them. Social media sites have shifted from authentic social.
Because if you think about it, if you really think about it, and I'm gonna do a tiny rant. Sorry. If you really think about it, okay. So if you want to be successful, and if you want to get the views and the clicks, because the clicks and the views mean money, that means you get paid, and you get paid less and less. It used to be like they do these pushes where you make a little bit more. You'd be surprised at the amount per 1,000 views. And I'm like, I get 500. I'm like, yay. If I get 40, I'm like, yay. So it is what it is. The point is, everybody wants to get paid. They want to be seen. They want to be popular. The more popular you are, the more people see you. The more people see you, the more people click. The more people click, the more you can get paid. Watch time goes up, all these things, right? All these things that make it so that you are successful. So where was I going with this? Basically, if you know that having bright colors on your thumbnail is going to catch attention, even if you never pay attention to thumbnails, but other people, I've had this conversation with Cliff. I'm like, I don't care what thumbnails look like if it's something I want to watch. And he's like, but you got to understand, the algorithm wants what it wants. And so I look into it and I find out that, all the people that are watching, they are distracted by pretty bright, shiny things. And they click on pretty bright, shiny things. And so you've got to catch their eye with pretty bright, shiny things, but you can't be too bright and shiny. It can't be too busy. So here's the thing, because you know that catches the attention, it's a possibility of getting more views, and it's a possibility of being more successful, and more people get to see what you have to say, and more people are able to see your content. So you do it. And now the algorithm is now not controlling, but influencing majorly people's behavior. If the algorithm likes short little boring, or I say boring because I'm biased, but little skits of people and then that's it, and that's what people want to see, those are going to get millions of views. TikTok, I don't even know how to do the damn thing, or the floss, or the gritty. I don't know. Well, I probably just threw up. I probably just pissed off like one coast or another. Anyway, I was doing I don't know. Point being is that they're basically dictating how you have to behave, and what kind of content you're going to post, and how you post it, and how long the video is, and what you say, and what you do, and what your levels are, and what they censor. No, we don't censor. Yes, they do. They censor because we're super sensitive, and you don't want anyone to be upset about anything you say ever, because it's all an algorithm. It's no longer a human saying, you know what, this is really not offensive. Like, it's in context, it's not offensive because no one's watching. That bots are going, you use this word, and boom, you get limited or whatever. Anyway, point being is they control your behavior by punishing you, or you don't do well unless you do what they want. Anyway, rant over.
Social engagement to prioritizing consumption-driven models. As long as they can keep you online, it's good for business.
What I said earlier.
This is what Ivy League universities you can.
Algorithms as long as they can keep you online, it's good for business. While there, algorithms process unimaginably large datasets to create profiles of you as a consumer, categorizing your online behavior to create personalized ads. All it takes is a single click to fill your feed with a certain subject, pulling you in to consume more. The system rewards copycats and imitators who observe successful content, and they have no choice. To survive, online creators, influencers, and marketers must constantly seek the algorithm's approval.
What did I just say? Did I not just say, I'm telling you, don't doubt me, y'all. Don't doubt me. I know what I'm talking about. I'm smart. I'm smart, y'all. You can't even pronounce the word smart. How are you smart if you can't even pronounce the word? I'm smart, y'all. S-M-O-R-T. Okay? No. I'm telling you, though. I know what I'm talking about. I deal with enough content creators, and I help with enough channels. This is obvious, and we see this, and because people want to be a success, they allow it. But yet, and we hear this, and we're all like, ah! But we still do it. We still watch the content. We still scroll the 15-second videos, one after another, boring, useless content that means nothing. Heh, that was funny. Heh, that was funny. Heh, that was boring. Heh, that was boring. Like, it's killing me, y'all.
Online creators, influencers, and marketers must constantly seek the algorithm's approval. In the end, even the humans who create are forced to create generic, unoriginal content.
Thank you. They do. They love when people copycat. They love when people copycat, which is weird because you get nailed if you copycat somebody else. People don't like it. They're like, well, that was my original idea. And it's like, well, you know that by copying your idea, I can be successful too. And then it's all like copied, same old bullshit.
The reason people are complaining about the Mr. Beastification of YouTube. But who can you blame? When a creator feels like the only way they can succeed is to appease the almighty algorithm, and they see how well Jimmy Donaldson does that, why shouldn't they copy him?
Why did he say his name like that? Jimmy Donaldson.
Algorithm, and they see how well Jimmy Donaldson does that.
I can just see his face. Jimmy Donaldson, I'm like,
Why shouldn't they copy him? As Friedrich Nietzsche argued, people tend to follow the herd for protection, afraid to show authenticity and confront truth. With this comes nihilism, where the herd drifts aimlessly without meaning or certainty. That is reflected in the algorithm. The content we consume and perpetuate leaves us in an infinite cycle of emptiness. Our aesthetics and values are now curated by non-human forces. So is our culture still ours? Are humans the ones giving the orders, or has technology become our master? The commercialization of the internet, the concentration of a handful of companies, and the creation of a quick but dangerously inaccurate generative tool have given us a technology that is manipulating our deepest weaknesses. The emergence of bot armies offers a shortcut for business development. AI offers a shortcut to creativity for low-quality content production. Powerful algorithms have fueled our addiction to short-form content. Has the internet become a carefully constructed reality we've all been presented with? Not to the extent that the dead internet theory describes.
I'm not hating on y'all if you like your short form content. Sometimes we just don't have time to sit through a whole damn video. I'm sure that a lot of people have clicked off of here a long time ago. And if you're still here, I fucking love you. Sincerely, drop a comment right now. I will respond personally. I hand to God. I will do it. I will respond to every comment that says I'm still here and put the timestamp because you can. So do that. Tell me what the timestamp is and I will personally respond to the comment. Actually, you don't have to. Just fucking comment. I'll respond. Anyway, point is that I'm not mad at you for liking your short content. Sometimes we just don't have fucking time. I like to look for videos that are shorter. I actually have drawn this out for a really long time, so I'm kind of sorry, but kind of not sorry. But anyway, point being, it's the boring, no, not the boring, it's the useless short form content that it contributes nothing. You learn nothing. You know nothing. It's nothing unique. It's the same thing in 7 different colors. So then you have like the pink background, the blue background, the green background, and it's all the same exact person doing the same. And then on the next one, but just different background. Like, oh, I'm standing in front of this. Now I'm standing in front of that. It's brain dead. Okay.
But as artificial intelligence spreads through the internet, our sense of reality is being seriously shaken. It's a wake-up call to change course before it's too late.
But we won't do it.
Alive, we need the courage to break away from the herd.
We won't.
Acknowledge that the current systems aren't working and that humanity is more important than profit.
We won't. It won't happen.
If you like the videos we make and would love to support us to make bigger and better projects, we just updated the Patreon.
Awesome.
Everyone who joins will get free access to our updated Discord server, where you can connect with the Aperture community.
Aperture.
Patrons can choose from different tiers with perks like discounts on all the merch we have and will create in the future, private Discord channels for voting power on video topics and idea pitching, shoutouts in video descriptions, and more perks to come that will be decided by you guys, the patrons. If you don't have the means, then please don't feel obligated in any way. Subscribing and watching the videos is more than enough support.
So you guys, I'm going to put the link down in the description. It's going to be down there no matter what. Go sign up for, or go subscribe if you like this kind of content. If you want to, it seems very informative. It's the first video I think I've ever watched of theirs. I like how it looks. I think it was well put together. The pictures made sense. It wasn't like, boy, when I try to put those videos together, they end up being like it looks like a child tried to like make a collage and failed miserably. I mean, sincerely. But no, I mean, I like what they've done, and that's exactly what I was looking for. I still wish they dove into more about the interactions between the bots and the comments and showing examples and ways that you can tell that that's what it is. By the way, fun fact, if you see people using double dashes in between words with no spaces, you're probably looking at an AI generated content, because some people haven't figured out to fix that before they post it. I don't know who they are, but if they sat through this video, then I feel like they deserve to know so they can prevent themselves from being outed that easy. It's notorious for AI to do that. Their punctuation is not very good. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It is now 6:50 in the morning. I'm gonna post this today. I've just decided I might go live and do some more stuff later. I haven't decided that though. Anyway, thanks for being here. If you guys like the content that you see, please do me a favor and subscribe. And I mean, we finally hit 1,050 subscribers. Let's go. Milestone. Woohoo. Hit the like button. I mean, if you hit the dislike button, I'm not gonna be mad at you. You don't have to like everything, and plus it's engagement, so you ain't doing me it ain't doing me anything negative. Do you think the algorithm cares if it's an up or down? They don't care. It's engagement. So please feel free to hit one of these. Drop a comment. If it's nasty, if it's nice, I'll respond. Anyway, I can't think of anything else to say. I hope you have a good day. Oh, it's daylight savings time today. Yes. I lost an hour. No wonder I'm still a little bit tired. All right. Have a good one.